What's up, everyone? Alex here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I had kind of almost like a coming out sort of thing that I wanted to do. I know that I always come to these like gender conclusions, and then I am on this like very narrow path of like I need to discover everything there is about this and talk about it incessantly. But I believe that there is a reason why I've been so drawn to the term maverick, and it's not really what you think. I don't consider myself maverick, but I really like the term. I've always been interested in the idea of having an autonomous gender that like kind of sits in its own category. It's not at all related to like being feminine, masculine, neutral. It's not male or female, and it's not genderless. It's a very gendered term. I shouldn't say gendered term. It's a gendered experience. There's definitely a genderedness to it, and it just kind of sits on its own with like its own unique experience. And it's basically like my gender is just kind of me. Like that's the best way to describe it. And I've always taken an interest in that. And right now, today, it is Maverique Visibility Day. But this video is probably going to go out kind of late. I'm looking at my schedule, and yeah, it's going to go up a bit late. But I had decided that I was going to post a lot of Maverick content. I thought it would be really cool to like reblog some Maverick individuals who were posting about the identity. I had posted the original coining post, which was like Maverick was coined exactly 10 years ago as of today, so on May 31st, 2014, and I was like reblogging that and resources and just kind of revisiting all of the content from my blog that's under like the Maverick tag, at least like helpful things, like people talking about their experiences or like some flags that I've made or terms that I've coined. And then I came to the conclusion that I would say that my gender experience is Maverin. If you hear a bunch of clicking in the background, my guinea pig is rearranging her house. That was her sliding the roof off of her house. So, yeah, she's made a little lean-to. The roof has been taken off of her little wooden house. That's what she prefers. That's her way of probably rebelling against not having any fresh greens in her enclosure right now. She has kibble and she has Timothy hay, and she's not happy with either of those things. So she has closed her house. She is not talking to anybody anymore. She does not want to be witnessed. Anyway, I would say that my gender experience is Maverin. I don't know if I would call it alignment, but I've always said that I experience my gender through a neutral lens. I experience my like malehood through a neutral lens. And that feels very nebulous. It feels like I don't really have a way to explain that. It doesn't feel like something I know how to explain until unless I go through the whole like, okay, here's the like gender binary, but it's actually a trinary, and like neutral's like here, and it fits in like this model of gender. It's like it feels like there's too much explaining, whereas Maverin feels like it's so much more fitting to my gender experience. I still have two genders. I'm still male and neutroy. I used to say that like maybe neutroy is not the right word. Maybe it's something else, a binary. Maybe it's something a trinary. I've always thought maybe that other gender was actually Maverick, and then I was like, well, I really like neutral. I don't want to call it neutral. Neutroy is probably a better fit for that other gender, but I couldn't figure out why I had such a affinity for Maverick as a term. It's in my gender hoard. I like to put it alongside all these other terms that I really like, but I don't actually identify as. But I guess this is why I'm so drawn to it. Maverin is just the gender quality that describes Maverick. So Maverick does not need to be considered a Maverin gender. Someone's Maverick experience can be masculine or feminine. It can be any number of gender qualities. But Maverin as a gender quality, the other way around, can describe someone's gender. Someone can be male in a Maverin way. Someone can be female in a Maverin way. Someone can be genderless in a Maverin way. I saw a post on Tumblr that had explained this. Like, yeah, Maverick does not require Maverinity, and in the same vein, Maverinity does not require being Maverick. So that like clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, that fits in some way. It feels like it fits. So Maverin is just kind of a way to categorize my gender experience. Like, I'm male in a Maverin way. I am neutroy in a Maverin way. My bigender experience is through a Maverin lens. Maverin really just meaning an autonomous gender experience that doesn't fit any other gender model. It is atrinary. It is not xenic. It is not genderless. So that fits a lot of how I've described my gender experience. So I don't really know what being Maverin really would mean for me. I always talk about, my neutral to mask, my masculine leaning, neutral leaning gender presentation. Now, gender presentation, I don't really try to aim for anything. It's whatever I feel like I'm comfortable with. I don't really present in a feminine way anymore. If I do, I don't really call it feminine. I feel like it's still an extension of my masculinity in some way. So gender presentation, fuck if I know. I couldn't imagine. I guess the way that I present, no matter what it is, masculine, neutral, feminine, a mix of a bunch of different gender expressions, that's probably what you would call Maverin, because Maverin's very individualistic. I'm Maverin because it's my gender experience, and somebody else's gender experience might look very different, and they would still call it Maverin, because being Maverin just really means that, like, my gender, my presentation, my expression is entirely mine, and I'm the one who defines it. So there are Maverin people who are feminine, they are genderless, they are multigender, they are gender fluid, they are hypermasculine, they are all number of different gender experiences. So it has a lot of flexibility, and I kind of like that. I do have to read my coming out post-ish, because I was posting all this Maverique Visibility content on Tumblr, and that's on Your Bigender Big Brother, if you wanted to follow that. I don't know who here is following that blog. I don't know who on that blog is subscribed here. My guinea pig's getting louder. I think she's chewing on her house, which is a hell of a way to get my attention. You don't see me chewing on my walls because I'm hungry, but whatever, I guess. So my little coming out post here, I had said, I'm going to say with 99% certainty, parentheses LOL, that I am Maverin in some kind of way. I'm really thankful for all the Maverique Visibility posts I'm seeing today, because it helped me feel a little more confident about myself. This post, and it's a link to the post that says that you can be Maverin and not be Maverick, sort of made me realize all of this, because it mentions that Maverinity does not require Maverickhood. That helped validate my experience. I'm not Maverick, but it's a term I really love, and it's sitting in my gender hoard in a neat little picture frame because I like the way it sounds, and it fits nicely with all the other terms I don't use for myself but are still part of the collection. Wow, that's a run-on sentence. I've never read my own sentences like that. Why do I type like that? And I'd said, I feel like the members of the Maverick community are my cousins. It feels like real solidarity. So I said, thank you, Mavericks. And then I had apologized in the tags, and I was like, I hope I'm not like clogging up the Maverique visibility tags with this post because it was a way to say I'm not Maverique, just Maverin. And that's not what this day is about. So I do hope that like it was okay that I had posted that on this day. Very interesting. And then somebody had sent me an ask. Let's see, almost 2 hours later, someone said, "You might have Mavericked me. I don't think before now I ever really got Maverick, but all of your posts made something click." And then I had said that like I'm happy that talking about my Maverin experience kind of like helped something click for them. And I was like, I'm here on the outside as someone who's like really deeply interested in the label, who came to the conclusion that that he's not Maverick. So it's kind of funny that I had inspired someone else's self-discovery in saying that I am not Maverick. And then I said I didn't mean to catch anyone in the crossfire of the Maverick beam. Oops, I wonder if anyone else got Mavericked in the process. So incredibly interesting. I always get messages like that, comments and messages and stuff once in a while saying like, hey, you talked about this and it made me realize something about myself, which is really, really, really nice. But yeah, basically the takeaway is neutrality was not a very good way to describe my gender experiencing my gender through a specific lens. I feel like neutral is too hard for me to explain as a term, as a concept. I don't think I've ever been clear enough in any of my videos about neutrality. Not until very recently, where I talked about what neutrality is and had linked to, I don't know if I linked to it, but I had said that the YB3 Wiki has a whole essay that I wrote on what gender neutrality is and explaining it in a way that is a lot easier to understand than most resources I've seen on it, because I've had trouble with it. And I don't I don't like using the word neutral anymore to describe how my gender experience is, because of all the having to explain it and not really understanding it fully myself. It feels like neutral was just a way to get out of saying a binary that like required way too much explanation. So I'm still male and neutroy, and I just have a Maverin gender experience. I don't know if that would make me trans Maverin. Probably not, because I'm transitioning in a way that is masculine, so I would be technically trans masculine. I just don't really use that term. I don't know why. I just don't use it for myself. But I definitely have to be more open to using multiple labels. I think up until this point, I've always been afraid of using more than one label because I feel like I am taking away from my bigender experience. There's something about my brain that was thinking like I can't use more than one label or more than two labels, because then like why do I call myself bigender? Bigender is two labels. I don't know why I thought that ever. It's a really weird way to think, but like there's a number of different labels that describe my experience: non-binary, male, neutroid, demi-boy, bigender, abinary, neutral male I've used in the past a little bit, and now Maverin. Like that, I like that I have that now. It gives me a better understanding of my own identity. The problem is, like, now that I think about it, there is a Maverin flag. I don't think it's very commonly used. I think people normally use the Maverick pride flag. I probably still would. Like, I probably would still use the Maverick flag, like either hang it up in my office or have it like on a pin or some other kind of merch. But just as a way to say, like, I relate to this. I'm not this, but it's something I relate to. But but I don't think a lot of people realize there's specifically a Maverin pride flag. I made my own, and I've seen others that have like a similar color scheme or whatever to it. So I don't know. That was just kind of off topic at that point, but I did want to show off that this was a great reason for me to wear this shirt. I like this shirt a lot. It's one of my favorite shirts, and I like the colors on it. I had it custom made a couple of years ago, and I love to wear it out sometimes. It's such a nice blue, and it looks great with the white and yellow. I feel like that's a really good way to, like, usually I show my, like, I represent my own gender with, like, blue, teal, and green, but blue, white, and yellow is a really good color combination too. I've made a pride flag out of like the colors from this shirt before, which is great. Maverick also has only 3 stripes. It's a very iconic flag, and I want to know more about the Maverick experience. So that's where my current gender hyperfixation is right now, is fixated on like the Maverick experience and Maverin experiences in general. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, I hope that you're doing well. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I spent a lot of time the last couple days cleaning and organizing. So today's just a chill day. I literally came to the conclusion of being Maverin like 2 hours ago as of recording this video. So, I was like, once I'm done with all this other stuff I'm doing, I really need to sit down and talk about this. So it's interesting how that happens. Came out as Demi Boy years ago. And then, by the time I made my YouTube channel, I was already a Demi Boy, and it was like one of the first things I like talked about. But I had come out, a year or 2 before I like talked about it in a video. And then like I came out as bi-gender, and then I think like a week later I ended up talking about making that discovery, and now I'm at a record 2 hours since coming out that I'm talking about it in a video. So that's interesting. I guess I should start streaming, because streaming my live coming out and self-discovery would be a hell of a thing for someone to like experience. But anyway, yeah. Happy Maverique Visibility Day, even though that's already passed by the time I've uploaded this. And hooray, I guess. It's just really, it's a good way for me to be able to explain where I'm coming from when I talk about my gender and everything. I guess that explains why I've like coined a lot of terms that fit my gender experience. It always felt so personal. Like I created this label and this flag for an experience that I have, because I couldn't find anything that really wrapped up the experience of like being male and being neutral at the same time. And I realized that that's a very Maverin experience, being having a certain gender experience that doesn't fit anywhere else, that like feels entirely your own. So that's pretty much it. So I'm signing off for now. See you later.